Hello, I'm Sam. Welcome to the Ball Watching FC podcast, and episode 7 starts with me still on a come down from the DR Congo game. And breathe. England beat DR Congo 2-1 and we are now in the last 16. We'll start with the negatives because I must rant. A friend of mine has a theory. Did England get space jammed yesterday? Did someone come along with a bottle and just sort of take all of their skill? Because I can't believe what I just saw in a way. That is the worst performance I've seen since Iceland 10 years ago, and we know what happens there. So maybe that's a positive, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that later. Defensively awful. We were so open for that first goal. Like it's just, I can't believe what I saw. And we should have been 2-0 down at half time. I don't know where that comes from. And some of the passing that I saw was, I think, the worst passing in the first half an hour I've ever seen from an England side. It beggared belief at one point, where it's just like, how are we passing this badly? How is our passing just going wayward? And I think it was summed up by Marcus Rashford just before the first hydration break when the ball came to him. Nice, easy pass. He went to stop it with his foot and it just went through his foot and out of play. And there was the hydration break. Where I was in a pub and I was just looking around at everyone and we were all just aghast at what we were seeing. Like it confused us. It stressed us out. It made our brains explode like mine is already right now, just thinking about it again. Anderson, Rice, Rashford, Madueke, Spence, Saka as a substitute. Awful individual performances. I can't believe it. Because, it's okay if there's a couple of individual performances which are just a bit off. But there were so many England players played badly. And I don't think I blame Tuchel for that. I look at these players and I just don't understand why they weren't able to string a pass together at times. That's not Tuchel's fault. And Tuchel rightfully just looked furious on the touchline, as he should. But I don't know why we played so badly. It's just, I would talk about it till the cows come home, so we got to move on. What do you think the other nations are thinking as well, looking at that? I remember watching Brazil a couple of days ago against Japan, and after the first half, I was like, our England team can take this Brazil team. No problem. Because Casemiro didn't have a great half. The team in general, just Japan looked better. I'm confident. Give me this Brazil. What do you think Brazilians are thinking right now? They'll be looking at England being like, oh, please get through Mexico because we would love to play you. We'd love to play this version of England. Oh my gosh. Not good. And I just think if you compare us to the bigger nations, your Frances, your Spains, your Argentinas, your Brazils, we've got to be way down on the rankings. Still, though, we remain third favourites to win the World Cup. That is bonkers. I do not understand that at all. Like, what game are they watching? How did we just scrape through DR Congo and we're still third favourites, odds on? Do not put a fiver on that. Don't you might not get your money back. I will be positive, I promise. But we're focusing on the negatives now. We'll keep the storm clouds over our heads. I also think, and I this is kind of coming from a place of an Arsenal fan last season. The fans, us fans, are here to prop our team up when they need us. We're here to support the team. If we're not playing well, we'll galvanise them. But I genuinely believe that I think sometimes the players need to galvanise us. They need to show us why we should have hope in England winning the World Cup, getting further than Mexico based on the performance that we're about to show you against DR Congo. We didn't see that. I think the whole nation is probably devoid of confidence now. And why not? Because based on that performance, Harry Kane got us out of a bind. But based on that performance, that's just not good enough. If we show up in Mexico and play like that, then we're out of the World Cup. That's not good enough. Thomas Tuchel before the game said it can be tiring, nerve-wracking, monotonous to break this block down. And he was talking about DR Congo potentially playing the same way that Ghana did and Panama. But DR Congo, they didn't have this low block. They came out and attacked. And we still played badly. We played our worst performance of the World Cup when a team came at us. Like Tuchel said, if that happens, we'll play better. But that didn't happen. Why didn't that happen? So it's a concern because Mexico aren't going to play with a low block. Mexico are going to come at us. And Tuchel said that you'll see the best version of England when football teams play their football against us. And that's what DR Congo did. They came at us, should have been 2-0 at half-time, and we played our worst performance in the last 10 years of international football. So what's going to happen next? What's going to happen against Mexico? I don't know. Thomas Tuchel said also about the performances that we should expect. They're not sexy, they're not glamorous. You need to overcome them, and later it becomes glamorous, which leads me on to the positives somehow. One positive that we should hold on to is you cannot play worse than that. That was such a bad performance, individually and as a team. There's no way England will come out against Mexico and play that badly again. I just don't think, even if you tried, that's not possible. So we'll see an improvement, I'm certain. Also, if you actually look at the game, look how many chances we had. Yeah, we went 1-0 down. But after that, the goalkeeper had the game of his life. Until Harry Kane scored the equaliser. That definitely should have been saved, but it is what it is. And all the chances we had in the first half of Bellingham's header, Rashford's shot that was cleared off the line, it's easy to forget that we did create a lot of chances against a team that had a low block, just like Ghana and Panama and all this kind of stuff. But we did find space and we found a way to get through. Another positive is we've got Harry Kane, and Harry Kane will get us out of a bind when we need him to. He is in the form of his life. The last season he's had is the best season he's ever had in terms of goal scoring and performance. And now we have him at the World Cup. We have one of the best strikers in the world. If Mbappe and Messi don't perform, I think we probably can argue that we have the best striker in the world, maybe best player. So with him at the helm, we have reason to be optimistic that England can go further than Mexico. Another very simple positive, we're still in the World Cup. We're in the last 16. Germany can't say that against Paraguay, who we all expected them to beat. And yeah, it wasn't pretty, but we are still in the World Cup. And there's a moment I had at half-time against DR Congo, when we were 1-0 down, that was like, what a privilege we are in to be able to watch our team at the World Cup. And we're in the last 32, and I know we're 1-0 down. But I still felt that pleasure and privilege it was to watch my country because we're in the last 32. And now we're in the last 16. And we're still here. So many teams can't say that, including top teams. And that alone is enough of a reason to be positive. We get an opportunity, as bad as the performance was against DR Congo, we get an opportunity to go out against Mexico, a huge test, and prove all the doubters wrong. That is such an important, fundamental, wonderful privilege of a thing that we can do this Sunday night. And once the game kicks off, that performance against DR Congo is in the past. And it's all about what England can do right now. And that is such a positive to have. Whether it comes home or it doesn't, as it stands, it still could. And that's enough of a reason to be positive.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Which I do think is quite a hot take, although I have seen the odd person agree with me, but I think the nation doesn't. The Harry Kane penalty, I don't think that was a penalty. When he's through on goal and he goes down, I actually said at the time to a friend, Harry Kane is not someone who just goes down. And so I think this is a penalty. And then I saw the replay. Now, the reason I don't think it's a penalty is because I think he's already on his way down. And I don't think the keeper's hands are in a position where they're trying to grab his leg or they're out of reach or anything like that. I think Harry Kane is already going down, and he does his best to put his left foot in a position where the keeper can make contact with him, and he goes down. I just think it was a bit of a dive, which is mad to say because I do think Harry Kane is an honest player, and maybe he was trying to kind of buy the penalty, which also can be a penalty. And you've seen him given. I'll give you that. You've seen him given. But, you know, it's a hot take for a reason. I don't think that was a penalty. So it's Mexico. It's Sunday night. It's 1 a.m. And Mexico is the game that will define England's World Cup. I think if we win that, we go on to the semi-finals minimum. I think everything in the past, the group games and the DR Congo game, will all be swept under the rug, and the result that we would get if we were to beat Mexico would be enough to instill massive belief in the fans and the players. And I think if we beat Mexico, we can do anything. I will focus on the negatives again. Sorry, I'm so British, criminally British. The last time we were there, the most controversial goal in football history was scored, the hand of God. And also one of the greatest goals in football history was scored. It was England versus Argentina. So that's not a good omen for a start. Mexico have played 89 competitive games there. They've won 70 of them. They've lost 2. So the odds are not in our favour when it comes to that. They're unbeaten in 10 World Cup games there. They last lost in the Azteca in 2013 in a World Cup qualifier for the 2014 World Cup against Honduras. And I saw a quote from Nigel Reo-Coker, if you remember the West Ham midfielder. He said, "It's the most physically demanding place I've ever played football." Which is frightening. And I thought about this, and I thought over the next few days, what we'll hear a lot about is about the crazy atmosphere and how high it is above the sea level. 7,220 feet roughly. And because I'm an idiot, I don't really know what that means. Like, what does that actually mean? So, if you're like me, I'll share with you my findings. Basically, it means that there's less oxygen in the air. So if you're playing football or doing any physical exercise, you're just going to get fatigued more. There's going to be less availability to press because you're going to knacker yourself out. Your breathing rate's going to go up and you're going to dehydrate quicker. So the hydration breaks will actually need them this time. And just in terms of pressing, the recovery between pressing is going to be much harder. So it's all against us, but there are positives. I just think because we're so focused on the sea level and the atmosphere and the brilliant stadium, I don't know how much we'll be focusing on Mexico, the team. And so far they've faced South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic and Ecuador. On paper, sides that aren't necessarily a big challenge. They've not faced anyone like England yet. On the flip side, England haven't faced anyone like Mexico yet. But we're being positive. This is the positive section. England v Mexico record. We played them 9 times and we've beaten them 6. So that's a pretty good record. And the last time we played them was a 2010 friendly. We lost to them 1-0 in 1985, and that was the last time. And since then we played them 4 times and beat them each time. They're all friendlies, but still, you know, we got previous and we're pretty good. Backtrack of the week. To be fair, I was really close. But I said last week that Japan were going to beat Brazil. So I apologise if you've put £500,000 on that and lost it. I was really close though. Oh, it was a 90th minute goal that stopped it. But Brazil did look very bad in the first half. And Japan looked the better team. So I'm going to take that as, I'm not going to backtrack actually. I'm going to backtrack this backtrack. I'm just going to finish on maybe another hot take, but I'm not sure. Are we seeing one of the best performances from a country in World Cup history in France? France are formidable. There's so many teams that on paper look brilliant. It's very rare to see that actually translate to the football pitch. But France are doing it. They have incredible players. But I've never seen such unity within such ego before. You look at Mbappe and, I don't know if you know the petition from Real Madrid fans a couple of months ago to sell Mbappe because they saw him abroad when he should have been injured. He was injured, but Real Madrid fans hated it. Mbappe, for me, is in the top 2 best players in the world. I think he's my number 1. I don't know. For me, it's between Messi and Mbappe, and I'm only basing this off what we're seeing at the World Cup right now. I'm sort of not taking club form into account or anything like that. I'm looking at the World Cup right now, and I'm asking myself, who do I think is the best player in the world based off of this? And Mbappe just looks inevitable. But I think how I feel about France now, I want to watch every single Argentina game because I want to watch Messi play. That's exactly how I feel now about France, about their attack. I just think it's something historically we'll look back and we'll say, maybe that was the best attack we've ever seen at a World Cup. That is, we're in hot take territory now because I can't ignore Rivaldo, Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, which surely has to be one of the best. But it's something that I want you to think about. Are we seeing the best performance from a team at a World Cup? Because they've done it every single game. And it's just something that I think we shouldn't take for granted. And I think that's it. I'll leave you with the thought of Mbappe scoring inevitably from most angles on the pitch. Elise playing to a Ballon d'Or level. Desiree Doué not even starting for France, and France absolutely crushing it. They are my favourites, and I think if they don't win the World Cup, it would be a national disappointment for them. That's how highly I think the world rates them now.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, please subscribe, please learn how to say listen to the Ball Watching FC podcast in Spanish just in case Mexico win, and please join me next time.